Ready? Count me down or something to start? Because we are going to record it. We're already recording. Welcome to Chemical Combat. No, we're good. We're family. It's fun. You ready to have fun tonight? We're going to combat some chemicals here. You're like dressing up for war, I feel like, because that's what it is. Like you feel like you can't even go anywhere, live anywhere, breathe, touch anything. What am I supposed to wear? What can I wash my clothes? Like, it's just, let me just go live on the remote island next to Fiji, and so maybe I'll have a chance of not dying of toxicity. That's what it feels like. And maybe that's true. I don't know. But we're not at the remote island of Fiji. We're here in this southern Dallas area. Or to any of my guests who are here, wherever you came from. But basically, listen, the fact that you even just showed up tonight, that already tells me and yourself a lot about yourself, right? It tells us that you aren't just here dabbling around in your health, just, I'm trying to eat better, I'm just trying to take care of something. This shows that you're serious. You're showing up at a Tuesday night at a toxicity talk. This is not the most popular health goal to talk about, is it? But you want to come, you're like, I got to figure out just the next thing I can do better. I just want to do one more thing better. And that's what it's a journey. I'm looking around the room. I see some of you have been here 5, 6, 7 years. Some people who've come to every talk we've ever done. Some people, this is your first talk. Who came to this talk last year? If I could just raise your hand. Anyone come last year? Oh, that's great. Then we have fresh meat. Just kidding. Then we get to talk. We got to start from the beginning. That's exciting. You can never come to the workshops too many times. You never can. If you were to tell me you came last year and I'm going to say, well, are you doing everything we talked about? Absolutely, the answer would be no. You're going to learn something new every time. And tonight is a fire hose. I'm turning it up. We aren't even on the spigot on the house. We're on like the what is that called? The hydrant. We're on the hydrant tonight. And it's going to come fast, and it's important, but that's because I get you one night, and we get this topic once a year at this capacity. So we got to get to business. We got to get the most important things in all of the spectrum of toxicity down. But what you're going to do is you're going to take a lot of notes, you're going to read your resources, and you're going to pick 1 or 2 or 3 things to do. That's what you're going to do. And you're going to keep your notes for the rest, and then in 6 months, you're going to go back to them, and you're going to pick another 1 or 2 things. And we're going to change that. And we're going to live by this good, better, best principle when we're talking about toxicity. And if you've come to any of the other talks, you've heard me talk about good, better, best. Good, better, best means I'm going to talk about some of the best options here. And I'll also highlight the good and the better. But you have to just start by going to good, right? So if we are, let's say toothpaste, for example. Let's say we are using the most toxic toothpaste that there is available, which is probably like a Colgate or something like that. Sorry if you're doing that, but it's the truth. Loaded with different dyes and with, fluorides and things. And let's say you just want to do a little bit better. Well, then we just go like 1 notch up. Maybe toothpaste without fluoride is fine, but maybe you find that at still your regular store. Or maybe you want to go better than you want to go best, and you're going to go to Whole Foods for the $9.99 toothpaste that also has hydroxyapatite in it and all this, and maybe you want to do, so you got to just figure out what's right for you. Some of you have done nothing to detox yet. Some of you have done many things. And so we can just do the next one thing. Can we just agree with that? So we don't feel leaving too overwhelmed, but I want you to feel equipped. I want you to feel empowered, and that you have the resources when you're ready to go and do the next thing, you know where to come back to. So we're going to have lots of QR codes. You're going to take lots of pictures of the screen. You have lots of printouts there. And then, of course, we have our website of momentumfamilychiropractic.com, which has many different resources, blogs, articles, recipes, of course, things like that on it. And then you have the next workshop. Actually, before the next workshop, on your radar, right now before I forget, we're going to do our second Shop with the Doc event out at the grocery store. So we'll go to Sprouts together, and that's going to come up here within a couple of weeks. When you come to your adjustment appointment, you just keep a look at the table there along the back wall. That's when it's going to be there to sign up and register for it. It only can take about 20 people. If we get an overflow of like 40, I'll set up another class to be able to do it. So we're going to be going to Sprouts. That's going to be on a Saturday morning at 11. I don't remember the date, but it's in a couple of weeks and you'll see it. So that's going to be focused on nutrition and how to shop at the grocery store better. Okay, and then the next one after that in August is called Raising Healthy Families. So if you have young kids or teenagers or you have grandkids or you just want to learn how to serve you and your spouse better within the house, it's going to have a focus on the entire family as we get ready to go back to school. So we'll be looking for the sign up and we'll come back to that. Sound cool?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Do you guys think that we have more or less chemicals in our lives than we did 10 years ago?
More.
So so we have 3 areas that contribute to our health, whether our health is good or whether it's bad. And the developer of chiropractic, B.J. Palmer, created this. So we figured out there's 3 things that cause you to have bad health. It's thoughts, it's traumas, and it's toxins. Thoughts are our emotional well-being, our exposure to stress. It's this right here. It's our max mind. We're not doing a workshop on that tonight, but this can cause your health to deteriorate or be great. Traumas are physical things that have happened to our body, whether that's an actual trauma like a fight or an accident or something like that, or it's just you sit at your computer all day, or you stand up all day long. It's a physical trauma that your body has been under that can cause disease, cause you to be sick. The third thing is toxin exposure. So thoughts, the 3 T's is what this is called. So toxin exposure, and that's what we're going to dive into today, and this is the least talked about, the least read about, of all of the 5 essentials. Now, what are the 5 essentials of max living? These 5 essentials, for my guests, are 5 most important parts of your life that you have to address for your body to be as healthy as God intended it to be. Number 1 is your nervous system health. What's number 2? Someone shout it. Nutrition. Mindset. Number 3, mindset. Number 4, oxygen and exercise. Your body was designed to work out, to sweat, not to sit down all day. And number 5 is minimizing toxins. So that's the essential that we're on today. So we're on our 3 T's. While other professions are concerned with changing the environment to suit the weakened body, chiropractic is concerned with strengthening your body to suit the environment. So this is an inside-out approach versus the outside-in, because your health doesn't come from the outside. It doesn't come from taking things from the outside, from pills or medications or surgeries. That's not where our health comes from. Our health comes from getting healthy on the inside first, right? That's why most people in this room are getting adjusted and taking care of your nervous system. So what's happening though is that's a great ring. You essentially were being lied to by whoever it is that give us information about our products that we put on our body, about our food, about our chemicals that are in the air, in our water. We are being told that so many things are safe. So many things, so many chemicals are safe, and it's okay. So it's okay that you can just have like a little bit of poison in your body. So this is where we're like, if you're looking at, oh gosh, let's say mercury, for example. Have we heard of mercury before?
Yes.
Remember when you were younger, you had well, not all of us, but some of us were younger, we had a mercury thermometer that your parents gave you. And she was always like, don't drop it. Don't touch, that was like an emergency if you dropped the mercury thermometer, because we would die if we came, which, and maybe we wouldn't die, but we would be sick if we came in contact with the mercury. But then we go ahead and had dentists put mercury in our teeth to make our fillings. But that was okay because it was a lower dose. So just a little bit of poison is okay for you, but a lot we shouldn't have. So I don't live by that principle. I don't teach you to live by that principle. If a lot of poison's bad, then a little bit of that same is also bad. So we need to recognize that we have to take control of our health, take it back into our own hands, empower ourselves, and make our own decisions about it rather than just blindly saying, oh, it's all safe, it's all safe. Of course, whoever is selling it to you is going to say it's safe, or they're not going to sell it to you. Does that make sense?
Well, expect moms go to great.
So the reality is you're exposed to over 700,000 toxic chemicals every day. You don't even realize it. Because we just feel that everything is safe, we kind of forget we're exposed to it. Just in your products that we put on our body, we have over 100,000 chemicals that are lurking through those products that we just put in on our body. So just think about your morning routine, especially ladies. Just think about your morning routine. So the first thing you do when you get up in the morning might be, what? What's the first thing someone does? So you take a shower. You take a shower. Tap water's coming out of the tap. You turn it on hot. And then what does hot water do to your pores of your skin? Opens it up. Now you have tap water, which we'll talk about later in the evening, that's not healthy for you. There's lots of chemicals found in tap water. There's narcotics and even birth control found in tap water because the water filtration systems were not originally designed to filter out these types of medications that we're taking now. So then they show up in the tap water. So anyways, we expand the pores on our head, giving very clear access to our brain. And then we put the chemicals from the tap water into our brain. So we took a shower. And then we lathered up with what? Our soap. And we feel like the more bubbles, the cleaner we are. And that's the opposite. The more bubbles means the more toxic ingredient there making it, but it's our American way. The more bubble, we lather up. So then when our pores are open, and now we scrub toxic shampoo onto our scalp, hard as we can. Then we're rubbing it in our body. We got to clean it up. Okay. We might shave, open up the pores again. What else are we going to do then? We're going to get out of the shower. We're going to brush our teeth. So like I talked about the toothpaste a minute ago, we're going to scrub that in there, getting that all there. We're just load it up. You're absorbing it through your mucous membranes of your mouth. Amazing. Then you go, the next thing you're going to do, put lotion, put moisturizer on. Moisturize our face. That's another about 20 chemicals in most conventional moisturizers. Rubbing it in your pores. Right now what I'm going to do, my deodorant. Got to put my deodorant. I have a whole part on that. I'm going to put my deodorant on, so I'm going to get my most important lymphatic channel to detox my body, and I'm going to slather it down so that it won't sweat and it won't stink. So now I'm going to get all my toxins, I'm going to keep them in there all day long in my armpits because I cannot by any means have any wetness or odor coming out of my armpit. So I'm going to do that. Then I got to put on my makeup. So here we go. I'm going to rub it all in, eyes, hair, lashes, lips, the whole thing, get all my makeup on. Chemical. You see where I'm going? All right, so this is called your toxic story. So sometimes we got to figure out, okay, I need to start breaking the chain. I might not fix that whole chain at one time, but I have to start somewhere. And part of what we're going to do tonight is figure out, well, where should I start first? And that's going to be different for everyone because some of you have already started. You're 50% of the way. Some people have done 0. So you have to decide for yourself, well, what am I just going to do first and do the next right thing? So here's why we need to do that is because something that's very famously called the bucket principle. The bucket principle is how your body deals with toxins. So basically it says that we all have a bucket, if you will, that we're born with. And the size of our bucket is determined by our genetics. And your bucket is like an imaginary bucket that you have in your body, and it's accumulating toxins. You've been exposed to different things. So you may have a certain size bucket, you have a different one, I have a different one, we all have a different size bucket. And that makes a lot of sense when you think about, well, let's say it's me and my husband or me and my kids, and we were all exposed to the same thing, but that perfume gives you a headache, but it doesn't for me. Right. So if perfume gave everyone a headache, then everyone should get a headache. Well, that's because some people have different size buckets, so we tolerate toxins at a different rate. So this is how we can do it. Let's do a demo so we can really see here how that might look. Now, I'm going to do some DIYs for you later, but right now we're going to do this demo here. So let me show you. Let's say we're going to have 2 buckets. Let's say Deidre, you were born with this size bucket. And let's say your mom was born with this size bucket. I'll open it up. Now both buckets, you don't know how big your bucket is, by the way. You have no idea. You know when you get symptoms, but you don't know. Like there's no test for this to know how big your bucket is. Okay, so then you both have the same amount of toxin. You've been exposed to the same amount, but you don't know that you have different size buckets. Okay, and so now we're going to keep exposing you to your morning toxic story, for example. And we're going to be doing that here. We'll go at the same rate. Whoops, sorry. So we'll just be figuring out here. We're going to just have a bucket. So look, our buckets are filling up, but we both have the same amount. Well, look, now we'll stop for a second. Now look, Deidre's mom, she has a lot more room in her bucket. Deidre's almost to the top of her bucket. Well, we don't know that we get a little symptoms here. We get a little allergies, we get a little headache, we get a little constipation. We feel a brain fog, our memory's going bad, we can't sleep. Yeah, but anyway, we just keep on loading up because we don't attribute it to toxin. What's going to happen to Deidre's bucket? What's happening Deidre's bucket? Yep, what's going on? Same rate. Oh, Deidre's bucket's out. Mom's is still there. Overflowing the bucket principle. When it starts overflowing, this is where you start having symptoms, severe symptoms, diagnoses with your health. Your body can't heal properly. And unfortunately, most of us wait until this is happening here. It's overflowing. But then usually we end up starting to take some, what do? We take some pills, medication to decrease the symptoms there, not giving any thought to our size of our bucket. You can take a bunch of medications, but as long as your bucket's full, I'm not going to lift that up. If your bucket's full like that, what do you actually have to do at some point so you can start getting healthy? Empty the bucket. You got to empty the bucket. At least, give you some more room. There's no one detox you're going to do that's going to empty your whole bucket at one time. Okay, that doesn't exist. But little by little by little, we start emptying our bucket. So there's two things we have to do to empty our bucket. We have to stop putting things in the bucket as fast. So we have to change that. And then we have to get rid of what's already accumulated in the bucket. And that's how we approach detoxing. So we're going to talk about both of those options tonight. But does that make sense? Yes. Dr. Joelle, could I have you remove that for me there so I could do my DIY in a little bit? Yep. Thank you. So top 7 toxins that'll weaken your immunity, meaning that you can get poured into our buckets and you don't even know. Now, I'm not going to go through a extensive chemical lesson on all 7 of these because we will be here for a long time and get no intervention or resources. But number 1 is glyphosate. Where do they put that on? Roundup. Roundup is glyphosate. That's sprayed on the crops and the majority of your food. So if you have people helping you with your lawn, or if you're doing your own lawn, you got to figure out, and we got to make sure that Roundup is not being used in your lawn, because you can put it on the lawn, but then accidentally the wind blows, or you happen to step on it, your shoe goes in there, and then you take your shoe inside, and then you get glyphosate, and then you have no idea how it can get on there. I have a patient who's been a patient with me for 7.5 years, and she was doing everything right with her 5 essentials. I tell you what, she had been getting adjusted and taking care of her nervous system for at least 10 years prior to that at a different Max Living office before she moved. She ate absolutely clean and wonderful. She worked out perfectly. She was everything right. She's doing everything right. And finally, we were talking one time and diving in, and we had done hormone testing on her, and we had done some blood testing on her. And finally, just in a random conversation throughout that, I said, well, what are you exposed to outside? And she had come and she had like a poison ivy or a situation on her arm. I was like, wow, what were you doing outside? They had a big old bunch of land. She's like, oh, well, I just must have come in contact with one of the leaves there. I was out there treating the weeds. And I was like, wait, what are you treating the weeds with? Well, Roundup. I'm like, oh my gosh. That's it. That's the thing. Like, we're doing everything. Stop using the Roundup. And she's like, I can't. I have too many weeds. I'm like, well, it's your body's falling apart or the weeds. Which one are we going to do? So finally she ended up talking to her. She's like, I talked to my husband, and it was like we had to focus. But she got rid of the Roundup, and guess what started clearing up? Little by little by little over the next year, her toxic bucket was emptying, and she was about 80% better than she was before she had gotten rid of the Roundup. So that's glyphosate. Mold and mycotoxins, phthalates. This is in plastic frequently. This is going to heavy metals. This is when you either consume heavy metals through food or a conventional fish, but mostly this is exposed to through fillings in your mouth, mercury fillings that have been in your teeth. Organophosphates, which are other different chemicals that are sprayed on our food and with our animals. Xylene and microbial endotoxins. Microbial endotoxins means bad bacteria that end up getting inside of the gut. Bad microbes are little tiny bacteria. Bad ones are they're inside of your gut. So these, when we're exposed to them, which all of us are exposed to all of them, whether we try to or not at some point, but these weaken our immune system. So we got to try to modify what we can control through those. So let's go through the effects of the toxins on your body when we're exposed to those all the time. Now look at how elaborate that God made the body. It's amazing. So you have areas of your body that toxins enter through and those same areas that they exit. You probably didn't even realize you had this many entry points on your body. You have your lungs because you're breathing in from the outside, right? Then you have your skin. Your skin is the largest organ on your body and it absorbs, with me, your intestines, of course, by when we eat things. Your kidneys is an important one where we take things in, they go to our kidneys, but really they're coming in through our mouth. So those 3 areas on the left are the primary areas where we get the toxins in. But the 4 areas on the right are the primary areas where we get rid of them. This is why taking care of those 4 areas on the right is critical to unload your bucket, which is your skin. So how do you get rid of toxins through your skin? What does that look like? Sweat. So you sweat. Sweating is God's primary way that he put in your body to detox. That's beautiful, isn't it? So what happens if you never ever exercise and you don't go outside because it's too hot? What are you not going to do a lot of? Sweat. So your bucket's not being emptied very well if we're not sweating. So what about our kidneys? So this is through our urine. So we're excreting toxins through our urine, of course. Our colon. How many times should we be pooping every day? Patients of mine? 3. 3 trains in, 3 trains out. It's a good way to remember it after every meal. If we're not pooping, we're not removing toxins. This is one of our primary ways that remove toxins. And then finally through our lungs. We inhale and then we exhale. So let's take a deep breath right now. I'm going to teach you something real quick here. I do this every single morning, at least for about 5 straight minutes. It's called box breathing, and it helps to inhale good, great oxygen and exhale a whole bunch of yuckiness that you inhaled through the night. You know how they said you eat spiders at night? I'm just kidding. I don't really know about that. Okay, box breathing. Let's do it. Ready? So sit up straight and tall in your chair. Wow, I didn't know how slouched everyone was. That was like a big motion. Okay, now you're going to breathe through your nose. You're going to take a deep breath in as deep as you can for 4 seconds. Go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it for 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Release it for 4 seconds slowly. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. In again. Deep in again. 3, 4. Hold it for 4. Exhale for 4 counts. 2, 3, 4. Leave your lungs empty for 4 seconds. 2, 3, 4. See how the box went? 4, 4, 4. You guys get it? That's called box breathing. We want to do that. You should do that multiple times a day. In the morning is a great way to get the lungs moving, get things passing through properly. Midday, especially when you're like he is right now, like if he's yawning because he's like, man, I just had this big lunch. I'm going back to work. I'm ready for them, done for the day. Whoop, stop. Let me box breathe. Let me get my oxygen and my carbon dioxide moving quickly. So those are different ways that we're going to eliminate our toxins. So minimizing and detoxing with the 5 essentials. Number 1, let's look at some sources where we're getting the most toxins and what that means to your life specifically. The top 5 most toxic foods. No one's surprised by this. I know you're not surprised. Number 1, fried foods. So what's the worst thing about the fried foods? Anyone know? 2 things. The oils. The toxic oils that are being used at very high heats, which that type of oil, your body cannot break the oil molecules down properly. When the oil is heated, it goes rancid and it stays. And you know what it does? I don't have a picture of this, but if I was about to bring you my air filter for my air conditioning unit that I changed this weekend. You know when you change your air filter and you take out the old one, what color is it? Gray, brown, black. The new one's what color? White, because the membranes inside, if you think of the air filter as the lining of your cell. So you have like trillions of cells in your body, and the outside of the cell is a membrane like your air filter that you change in your house. And so when that membrane gets clogged up, you can't exchange good and bad nutrients. Good nutrients can't go in, bad stuff can't go out, you get sick. So when you're exposed to oils from fried foods, it clogs up the membrane, number 1, worse than anything else. So you know how hard it would be to detox if your membrane is clogged up? It's hard to get the toxins out of the cell, isn't it? If you do it. Well, we'll talk. Sauteing, well, that's much better. That's the great alternative. So we saute instead of. If we do fry, I teach to fry in coconut oil. or avocado oil. Those are safe oils that you can heat to high temperature and they keep their molecular structure intact and they don't damage your cell wall. So coconut oil and avocado oil. Lots of these I will be talking about more specific at the talk at Sprouts. If you're not all able to go, which obviously we all can't go to Sprouts together, but if we're not, I'm going to record that as well and we'll have the video link so we can get more equipped with that. Number 2 is packaged foods. So they have to put something in a packaged food so it doesn't spoil in the package. Yep. Those are called preservatives. Those are chemicals. That's how a packaged food can stay on the shelf. In what world can a food that we eat should be safe for a year before we eat it? Do you think anything grows in the earth that can just sit there for a year before we eat it? I don't think there's anything. So you have to put unfortunate ingredients inside of packaged foods. Where should your majority of time at the grocery store be spent? Ideally, on the outside aisle. Go to the outside first, where you got the healthy meats, the healthy proteins, the healthy veggies. Then the inside of the aisle is for some of the things that might be canned, etc., or packaged. But packaged and processed foods. Number 3, GMO foods. Does anyone know what GMO stands for? I'm so proud of you that everyone knows. You know how I'm very proud of that. You know, if I were to ask that 10 years ago, maybe 50% of the room would know. 20 years ago, what? GMO? Come on, give me O. Like, what? No one knows what that is. So it's genetically modified, right? So genetically modified means that some scientists who are affiliated with companies that want to make a large amount of money have done something to the original genetics of that food. And they've altered it from the way God intended it to be in order to make a larger quantity to be able to make more money. Now, your body wasn't designed to be consuming and digesting things where the genetic makeup is different than the way it was that God created on the earth. So that's called GMO. So we want to stay away from GMO. There's a big battle right now in many states going on trying to figure out if they're going to label food a GMO or not, or if there's a big effort to not have to label it GMO because you don't need to. You know that? So there's lots of lobbying. Even a lot of our own organizations like Stand for Health Freedom and organizations that we support are lobbying against that. So I think most of that's being lost, thankfully, and we have to know. Because you have to know. You have to at least be able to make the choice. Can you imagine if you didn't? And then artificial colors, and that's things like that make a food a different color than what it naturally is supposed to be, like yellow lake number 5 and red number 40. You've seen these things on the ingredients. Those aren't things. We shouldn't be consuming those in our body. And then artificial sweeteners. Whoo, baby. That is a big one. That one should have been on number 1. Artificial sweeteners. Let's shout out some artificial sweeteners. Anyone know some? Sucralose, aspartame, NutraSweet. What'd you say? Equal. Yeah, what did I hear? Another one? Phenylalanine. Yeah, that's true. That's a less common one, but that's true as well. Did you have one? High fructose corn syrup. Yep. So we all are kind of familiar with them. So, but let's see if I could get a show of hands that we've made a concerted effort to try to decrease these. Like, are we looking at boxes? So we're trying to start looking at boxes, and so this is how we got to do it, guys. We got to become familiar with the words, because you're never going to look at the front of a food product. You really don't want to trust the front. Almost never. I'll show you at Sprouts when we go when you can, but almost never. Assume never. So then how are we going to know? We're going to go flip it over. We're going to look at the ingredients. That's how we know. So we've been kind of, I don't know about y'all, but when I was growing up, like reading the ingredients was super overwhelming. I didn't want to look at the ingredients. I like looking at the calories, the fat, the front, that's what we were taught. Well, that's all just made to be a distraction so you're not looking at the ingredients of what's going on. So we need to embrace the ingredients, love them, get familiar with them. I'm at the point now where I have to take a photo of it and enlarge it because I can't see them anymore. God bless. Like I'm constantly on them. But it's okay. We got to do it because we got to know what is in those ingredients. What are we putting into our body? So we'll go through that at Sprouts as well. But those artificial sweeteners, I'm going to make so I know a lot of us in here are health conscious and we made great choices already. One thing that's hidden in there that is usually the healthiest of you, usually the last thing for you to realize that you're consuming artificial sweeteners, chewing gum. You just forget. Just get grab the Trident, grab the Extra, just forget. Chewing gum is the number one thing that has the aspartame in it and the artificial sweeteners in it. So we have to actually intentionally go to a health food store if we're going to chew gum and buy one that's with xylitol or stevia. What's another healthy sugar substitute? Monk fruit. Exactly. Erythritol. Again, these things we'll be going into it more in the future. We'll not do a whole nutrition talk right now. But we got to switch to the healthy sweeteners. Those artificial sweeteners have been linked in thousands of studies to cancer, brain tumors, neuroendocrine dysfunction, which is thyroid dysfunction and diabetes, etc. You have actually this bioaccumulation is what happens when you're eating lots of the chemicals at the same time. When it comes to a protein, you are what they ate. Yep. Instead of you are what you eat. We're going to graduate from that. You aren't what you eat necessarily. You are what they ate. Or what was injected into them, or rubbed on them, or pushed in them, or what they stood in. And so those when we do it over and over and over, they're just stored. Just think, next time you go to chew a piece of gum, if it's from a conventional gum company, well, that is being bioaccumulated. That means it's being stored in your cell. The aspartame in that, you're not going to excrete, it's going to be stored there and continue to build up, and it's going to cause an endocrine disruption. So what is an endocrine disruption? You have about, when I was researching it for this talk, it was about 800 different chemicals that are in products, food or body products or cleaning products that are called endocrine disruptors. Now that's a little bit of a fancy word. That means it's going to jack with your hormones, disrupt them. Jack was a word for disrupt them, right? So it's going to disrupt your hormones. So what could this look like? Well, in men and women, it could look like too much estrogen. Now, what does that do when a woman has too much estrogen? You have something called estrogen dominance, and a cascade of other unfortunate events can happen to your health that are very hard to reverse. What happens when men have high testosterone, or it's getting higher? There's sexual reproductive dysfunction. They get boobs. They lose the masculinity, and you don't really realize that it's happening. It's harder to build muscle, harder to lose weight. And so this is happening very frequently because of our exposure to endocrine disruptors. That's increasing our estrogen in many cases. I believe that this is why young ladies are getting their menstrual cycle earlier and earlier in the past 20 to 30 years. We're talking about 8, 9, 10 years old. Myself, I was 10 years old. My mom didn't raise me like how I'm talking to you right now. This was a lifestyle change started when I was 25, 20 years ago. I was raised just conventional like everybody else was. And so that's probably the reason why these things are happening, and to our young kids, and to the obesity that's happening to our young children, especially boys. If you look at the amount of endocrine disruptors that we're being exposed to, both through our food and through our chemical exposure and our toxins, and I'd like to test all the hormones and see. Serious. I just did a test on this. Someone, I just recently started doing more advanced blood work, toxicity work, saliva hormone testing, gut testing. So I'm just opening up that kind of functional testing here, just started that. And I just recently, and I'm looking around the room, and I don't think he was here. I would have had him share his story. No, he's not here right now. But we just did his testing, and he was in the hospital with his heart, he had gone into a lethal heart rhythm. It almost killed him. He had to have it shocked back in, etc. And so now they're threatening that he can die at any time. So he's like, I want to find the cause of the problem, because the medical doctors are not doing anything that I can find the cause. We're just having a battle over if I should have a defibrillator, which is a device to shock your heart, implanted in his body or not. That's the conversation. There's no conversation about what caused it. So he's simultaneously coming with me and like, can we start investigating what's going on in my body? Why is it rejecting itself? And we just last week got his test back, and his estrogen is higher than a woman's. He's in his 60s. And so we're going to start a whole separate protocol to help to decrease that. But I'm like, how did that happen? How does that happen to men? Eating chicken? Well, conventional chicken is injected, absolutely, with growth hormones, and antibiotics, but growth hormones. So that's going to help it all grow faster. Well, you are what they ate or what they got injected into. Okay, so it's a bigger deal than we think. It's more about just changing our toothpaste, and it's just like we bioaccumulated it over the years and years. It also takes years to get rid of it, but we have to start. We've got to start. It's just that, and so hopefully tonight's a starting point. We pick one thing. I'm going to start with something. Let's talk about, I'm going to transition a bit here, because a big topic right now, because it's summer, and I don't know if y'all noticed the temperature, but it got real hot real soon, didn't it? Last year was August when this was this hot. Well, I happen to absolutely love the heat and the sun. That's my person. I know it's not popular opinion, but I love being in the heat. I love it. I get energized from it. I love it. But we do need to talk about some summer safety tips here that apply to everyone. Now, if you have kids, it applies to kids. Now, here's the thing. We actually do want to go outside. So if I was doing a conventional health talk right now, or just, talk, you would think right away that I'm going to tell you to stay inside, cover up everything, don't ever put your skin, that's what you're going to think I'm going to say, and I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say finally the sun's out and it's warm, we need to go and have the natural time in the sun and outside, breathing oxygen, etc. This is actually when we need to go outside. But, so here's how we're going to do that. We want to avoid toxic sunscreens. And we want to avoid toxic bug spray. So let's break that down a little bit. The chemicals in sunscreen, this is either a picture slide or I'll go a little slower so you can write down these ingredients. So there's 4 devastating ingredients in traditional sunscreen. And I'll read them to you because we want to start being familiar with the words. Oxybenzone is the worst one. This was on the top left. This causes hormone disruption because an endocrine dysfunction, right? Organ system toxicity. And if you were to happen to be going in the ocean, it destroys the coral reef. In Hawaii, it's illegal to wear sunscreen with oxybenzone in it because it destroys the reef around Hawaii. That should give us a little clue.
There are lotions that say reef safe.
You're right, they are. That's how big of a deal this is, that on the bottle will say safe for the reef, which just means it doesn't have oxybenzone in it. Okay, right underneath that we have, let's see if I can pronounce that, octinoxate. This is another hormone disruptor. Additionally causes reproductive toxicity and is also toxic to the coral reef. Up on the top right, we have homosalate. Hormone disruptor again. This is not sounding good for us, is it? Enhanced absorption of pesticides. So, and then you have different nanoparticles that are like the other ingredients, the not active ingredients. They're going to be put in there like parabens and phthalates, part of the toxic top 7. So these ingredients here, especially these 3, those are going to be absorbed into your skin. You will absorb them into your body. So what's happening is they're absorbing into your body and helping to, I don't know the chemical makeup exactly, but it's doing something to absorb into your body so that the UVB rays or the UVA rays don't burn your skin. Now before we go into any more science about that, let's just briefly talk about those 2 different kind of rays from the sun. So you have UVA rays and you have UVB rays from the sun. UVA rays are the rays that burn you and can cause damage to your skin, like skin cancer or advanced aging or things. Those are the UVA rays. The UVB rays maybe will give you a little bit of color, but it's like that slow, it's not going to burn you quickly. It's like that slow kind of deep, like tanning. Like if you see that I have a lot of UVB rays right now, it's that kind. UVB rays are the rays that allow your body to produce vitamin D. Holy cow, this is important. Vitamin D is the number 1 vitamin. It's actually not a vitamin, but it's the number 1 nutrient that your body needs for your immune system, for preventing cancer, for almost all cellular activity. Vitamin D has been researched very well now for about 35 years. Most of you already know, even the medical doctors now are testing your vitamin D or recommending you to take vitamin D. It's not a negotiable discussion anymore. It's critical. But God made a way for us to have vitamin D naturally building up our immune system, and it's called the sun. And it's the UVB ray that comes to your body. So in order for the UVB ray comes in and your body goes through a chemical reaction and allows vitamin D3 to be produced, and then you're infinitely healthier with adequate amounts of vitamin D3. So in the winter, we can't be exposing the majority of our body to UVB rays, can we? Because we'll freeze. So we must take vitamin D supplementation, which is in your daily essentials for women or men that most of you already take. That's why it's already in there as just a regular vitamin. 5,000 units a day is usually what it takes. I prefer to have a blood test so then I can customize your dosing of it. But the UVB rays are what naturally produce it in the body. So when we're in a temperate climate where we can go outside in the sun, we do want to go outside in the sun and be able to have our body for 20 to 40 minutes, at least 50% of it, some say 75% of it, that's like a small bathing suit or little shorts for my guys, right? But to get the UVB ray so that you can produce vitamin D naturally. So what I'm not talking about is baking out there for 2 hours, getting burned to a crisp. That's not probably what we were ever supposed to do. But a healthy dose where you're getting healthy vitamin D. Now, if we are going to be in the sun for longer, this applies if you have light skin or dark skin. Doesn't matter. The skin will get damaged with long-term exposure to the UVA rays. So if we are, then we want to have healthier options of sunscreen. So we're not getting that burn to a crisp situation. So this is your toxicity sunscreen rating. And you see the higher ones are the most toxic, which oxybenzone's at the top, oxytocinates right after that, homosolates right after that, oxalate comes down. Now right about this is where we want to hang out, in the lowest. And I prefer the lowest two, which is zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. Those two ingredients as the active ingredients in your sunscreen, they're not going to absorb into your skin, and they work to reflect the rays back off of your skin to prevent you from getting sunburn rather than being absorbed into the skin. So this is great news. And another great news is there's lots of products now that are even in a conventional store that are a non-toxic sunscreen. It's like Think Body is an example of a brand, Badger is an example of a brand, Sunly, Babo, there's other ones, but you can be equipped with learning how to read the labels and look for those ingredients, what to look for and what not to look for. I recently just had the week of vacation, and I went to the beach, and I myself used the Badger. This is the face stick there. This face stick has olive oil as a base of it, and shea butter, and then zinc oxide. It's like really good for your skin. And then the other Badger one and it lasts the same amount of time as a regular sunscreen. It's invisible. You're not walking around with all these white streaks. You go to, it's just like, it's fine. Now, one thing on this, what we're talking about, it's become ultra convenient for us to use the spray on. So easy, douse it down real quick. It's an even look, right, etc. You can really get that cheap at Costco, great things like that. Well, unfortunately, the spray is the ingredient in an aerosol can, right? You already know. There's an ingredient that many, many years ago we decided, hey, we shouldn't probably use so many aerosols because it actually is harming the environment and they are toxic. What makes something aerosol? Well, same thing applies to your spray-on sunscreen. There is an ingredient in there that makes it an aerosol, a propellant that makes it come out like that and changes the ingredient. It has to be in there. So unfortunately, even these companies here, not Badger, but I think a couple other ones, we're jumping on the bandwagon for marketing and for income, right, to start making the sprays. But even in those, whereas they might be better than like tropical, whatever, what's that called? Tropicana, or those kind of things. They might be better than that. They're not still as good as when you just actually apply a lotion on, because they do still have that chemical in there that's making it a propellant. So even though you might save, it's very tempting because the cost and the deal and the convenience of it. If we're really looking at our toxic load, which you are because you're here tonight, we want to upgrade that and go just to the rub on and just take the extra moment to rub it on. And then if you really want to do something funny to your spouse, just like rub it on and put your hand right there, and then they give them a little sun, and then they'll have that handprint on there, and that's a little funny joke you can do. I've seen that happen before. Okay, let's go on to bug spray. Wow, because I don't know if y'all know, but dang, the flies and mosquitoes, they have come out early this year, at least in my yard. So one thing is to do is, we are all about prevention and finding the cause. So I have a very naturally minded bug person that comes to my house. His name is Johnny. He's a patient here. You can ask us, so we can get you his information there at the front desk, and he'll go to your house. But he puts these, he hangs these things in the trees that are like these orange and black kind of tubes, and they're mosquito deterrents. And I don't know what's going on in there, but they do something to keep the mosquitoes away. Yeah, okay. That's what it is. Okay, so, what was that? Can you say it one more time? Spark mosquito eradicator is what that sounds. Spark or Spartan. That is what it is. How you put that. But anyway, so that helps decrease it in the yard, etc. Okay, but what about on your body? You're going to go out something, you're going to go for a hike, you're going to go out around the lake, watch fireworks, 4th of July, whatever's going on. The number one ingredient we want to avoid that is going to create a massive toxic overload is called DEET. DEET, we heard of it? Yes. DEET. DEET is in something called what? Off. Like the most prevalent, spray yourself down so you don't get mosquito bites and bug bites and ticks. It's extra toxic to you. Here's a study. When I went to look up studies, there was like 100 studies. So I was like, wow, okay, well, let's just put the one here. Toxic encephalopathy associated with the use of DEET insect repellents, a case analysis of its toxicity in children. Toxic encephalopathy, does anyone know what that means? It means you go crazy. The brain is crazy. And so that's happening when we're exposed to DEET over and over and over. So DEET is in like bug sprays and different, repellents that they use for clothing and for pets. So we want to have some alternative. Oh, they've been linked to, I don't know if you can read that, I'll read it to you. Skin irritation, seizures, memory loss, headaches, joint stiffness, and an allergic reaction because there's fragrance and things in it that will cause you to have a reaction in the skin. So some options. We have that same company, Badger, creates a bug spray. This one from Quantum Health called Buzz Away. I've used both of those. You can find those at Sprouts or online as well. And there's other ones. Those are just the two I'm familiar with that I know have worked. And then there's another great option where you can make your own and using essential oils. And I love doing this. This is like probably the best. And we use Young Living essential oils. And we do have Caitlin here. They can't see you. I mean, so just this Caitlin. And Caitlin is, and her whole family has been coming and trusting us with their health for a year and a half, 2 years now. Or maybe it's been gone by fast. But she has an amazing business with Young Living. And I love it when she comes to our event. She does, at the room, there's a room on your way out this way, there's a room over there. And the door's open, and she has her vendor table in there. And she has a beautiful spread of ways that we can use non-toxic products. So we're going to do a couple of like demos of them right now. So we can find her after. She has a beautiful name tag that says, "Hello, my name is Caitlin Hooper." Oh my gosh.
Be personal, y'all.
That's awesome.
I want to know all your names.
That's so awesome. And so in this one, we use citronella, peppermint, lemongrass. Do you like peppermint? I know. And purification. And those oils mixed together can create a very good repellent that's natural. I've been using that for essential oils for a very, very long time, and it's been used successfully. Mary, that is a wonderful. Mary, who's one of my best friends in the whole world. She also uses Young Living and helps to get people started or using Young Living as well. And so that's a great idea. If you put your DIY bug spray repellent in the refrigerator, then it'll be cool when you mist off. Why don't we just do it? Is anyone's birthday today? Oh, we won't spray it. I won't spray it. What, was anyone's birthday today?
Mine's Thursday. Somebody's Thursday.
This week? Your birthday's Thursday? Well, I was going to give this away to whoever's birthday was today or this week, so I'm going to make you a little one right now. Well, you want to make it for us? Okay, here. So we just have a little bottle. These are available at Sprouts. You fill it up with water.
I put water and just a squirt of witch hazel or something that helps bind.
That's nice.
That's it.
Would olive oil work for that too, or maybe not a good idea?
I mean, it might
olive
clog
oil
up
or
your
witch
spray,
hazel?
But you could try it.
Okay. So so how many drops do you put in each one? You could do it. How many do?
It really doesn't matter.
Oh, right, like 3, 4. You know, it's not like, this isn't like you got to get out the measuring cup. No. You know, you just like put some. Now we have, that's it.
Witch hazel.
Yeah, yeah.
Something that will just bind it because water and oil will separate.
Oh,
So,
that's true.
yeah. You can use a carrier oil like olive oil, oh my word.
Olive oil.
Or a fractionated coconut oil, but I don't know what would happen to your spray. So, yeah.
You know what? It might clog up your spray thing. Now it's true. I have an amazing patient over here. She's over there in the back because maybe she won't smell this, but she's just an amazing young lady over there, and she does have a lot of allergies to different things, and that can happen when our bucket gets too full, and a lot of us have that. So I'm not going to spray this because one of the citronella is bothersome, but we're working on emptying the bucket, so we have less and less of that. It's a lifestyle. So here we put it in there, and then we shake it up. How long do you shake it for?
I just invert it.
Oh, invert it. I'm like, sorry. I'm getting real aggressive with the repellent. Yeah. So it's peppermint, citronella, lemongrass, and purification. And she has like a whole spread of this back there and like a sale and everything today on it. Let me see if I even have a slide of that. I'll come in a minute. But there's a whole deal. You can already pre-buy it. You can get them individual or whichever. But anyway, and there you go. That will last you like more than one summer. Yeah. That'll last you a long time. Happy birthday! Woo! Yay! You're welcome. Thank you for those. Okay. All right, so those were our summer options. Okay? We're going to move on to our most common, I got that oil on my hands now, to our most common sources of toxins that you'll find. Some of them we mentioned, some of them we just need to keep on your radar. Pots and pans, cosmetics, storage containers, water, shampoo and conditioner, toothpaste, and cleaning products. What about pots and pans? What do we have pots and pans? The non-stick. It's not like we're not using pots and pans anymore. But we got it. Has anyone ever watched that documentary that was on Netflix? And it was called, Dark Waters? I think it was called Dark Waters, and it was about the lawsuit that went on with DuPont. Thank you. I was really prepared for DuPont about Teflon, and when they had first created Teflon and what happened. And that's a disturbing show. But I really recommend you watch it anyways, even though it's disturbing. Because my gosh, you'll never want it. You'll like throw away the pans. Like just get rid of the pans that are Teflon and non-stick because it's so toxic when you heat it up. It gets into the food. You're ingesting it. So pots and pans are maybe not the first thing, right? We're good, better, best. If you're first and you're just on this journey, maybe that's not the first thing you change. I'd rather you change the things that are going to go directly on your skin and your body, like your soap and your toothpaste and your shampoo, filter your water. Like if I was picking or recommending, I would do that first before my pots and pans. But if you've already made some progress and we want to keep going, we upgrade our pots and pans to stainless steel. I have a couple examples. You know where I have some examples? May I hold that for a second? And there's a page in here called Resources for Toxicity. It's towards the back. It is on the back. Right here. And these I took a long time to put this page together for you because I don't have the time tonight to go through each one of these resources. But these are resources that I use or my close friends and colleagues use and that are trusted. Not to say there's not other ones, but these are some of the best resources within these categories. And so the cookware, of course, Salad Master would be like the highest and best one. The Caraway at home is a good one. Straight up stainless steel, that's always a great option. So those are a different option, better than our Teflon nonstick. We're going to hit on cosmetics in a moment. Storage containers, I'm going to hit on in just a moment as well. Those are where we want to look at for our most common sources of toxins that you might not have thought to look at. Let's go to household cleaners. So household cleaners are important to update because if you clean the counter with them, you put one thing on the counter, right? You put your fork on the counter, you put a piece of food on the counter, then you eat it, you don't know what's happening. We put tabs in the dishwasher. You know, dishwasher is one of the first ones in the household that I would change, because and then you clean the dishes. That's right, Colton. And then so if we use the dishwasher tablets like Finish and I don't know the other ones, Cascade. So those have significant amounts of chemicals in there. Then the water is extra hot in the dishwasher, so then it absorbs and disperses better, and it lands on the plates and the silverware, and you eat off of that. And so that's one of the primary, probably even a little bit more than pots and pans if you're going to rank them, to upgrade that. Now there's a great company on there. It's called Branch Basics. That's a newer, couple of years old, awesome non-toxic company for supplies. But there's many. There was one called Ecos at the store. There's 7th Generation is in the middle. Not the worst, but not the best. But anyways, at most health food stores, you can just go like a Sprouts or a Whole Foods or something, and you can look, and there's several options right there already for you. I'm using Branch Basics right now. I like it. It does well. It cleans good. Disinfecting wipes. We want to graduate away from the Clorox type, because of those bleach-based ones and the things that are in the fragrances. Those are in the endocrine disruptor category and the toxic category, where there are household cleaners that are equally or more effective at killing the bacteria and the viruses and cleaning the counter. And so again, just one step up, good, better, best. Just change to 7th Generation. That's at least better than like your Clorox ones. Then if we're going up, continuing up the trail, then we could make our own, which I'm going to do an example of that in a minute, or we can get the essential oil based. But then there are several, again, at the grocery store or at the Whole Foods and Sprouts, that we can just upgrade to the next better option that's not as loaded with the bleaches. Same thing with dish soap, same principle, dishwasher detergent, and laundry detergent. Laundry detergent is a big one, because you wash your clothes in it, and then you put your clothes in there sitting on your body all day. And what's your largest organ of your body?
Your skin.
Your skin. So your clothes are sitting against your largest organ of the body all day. That's right. And it's same thing. And then if you wash your sheets in it, and like toxic laundry detergent, then you're laying on it. So literally 24 hours a day, you're just contacting the toxic cleaner. So this would be like, unfortunately, it's the popular ones, like Tide and All, and the things that are the most popular and right there on the shelf that you've been accustomed to as like regular life. But so what happens though, one thing when you change a detergent, this is going to throw you off if you haven't changed your detergent yet. It's not as foamy. Your laundry is not going to be so sudsy in there. Your body won't be as sudsy. Your shampoo won't. Your mouth toothpaste, you'll be like, what is going on? It's not doing anything, because there's less suds in it. Well, one of the ingredients that creates the most suds is called sodium lauryl sulfate. You've all heard of that before? Yes. SLS. So, and now you start seeing healthier products that say sulfate free or SLS free, sodium lauryl sulfate free. So immediately you know there's not going to be as much suds, but it's still going to clean you. We just don't have the mental part of all the suds in it. That's going to happen when we update all of these. It's a mental. We just got to get over it. That's all it is. You're cleaning. It's being cleaned just as well. We just got to get over the suds from it. So laundry detergents. On a regular day we have glass cabinets over here, and take a look at those if you haven't lately. And they have use this, not that. And they have some examples of what can be toxic and endocrine disruptors and alternatives. And I have a few laundry detergents in there. One of the brand is at Ecos is a good option. That's at Costco for a very good price, if you want to try that one. So various ones we can try, but that's one important thing to graduate, especially if you have any kind of skin issue. Any kind of skin, whether it's from acne to other kind of rashes and things, that's the first thing that I'll recommend that you update is your laundry detergent. Okay? Yes.
Goat milk detergent.
Goat milk detergent?
Yes.
I'm not aware of that.
It's for babies. Well, of course, I'm an HSN, so.
It's on HSN?
Yes.
Goat milk detergent.
But it's the goat's milk detergent that they say is non-hypoallergenic.
Well, I have never heard of goat's milk detergent. So you know what I would have to do?
Bring it.
I would have to look at the ingredients. Yes, Deidre, I'd have to read the ingredients. And you have a wonderful resource here that I put, may I? Here, it's on might be on page 1. Did you see that? It's the chart with the toxicity. Find the chart. It's a big chart. There it is, toxic ingredient list, page 1.
Right.
This is, it's going to take you a few years to become familiar with all these words, but start the process. The left column is food and beverages. They're ingredients that are toxic. They'll destroy your body and your health. You don't want to eat foods with those. The right two columns, we have to have two columns because there's so many chemicals in your products that are the most commonly found in these types of detergents and things for your body. So we want to read the ingredients and compare it to this list. If you see a lot of ingredients on that list, don't buy it. don't use it. That's going to be.
What about air fresheners?
Thank you for mentioning that. That's wonderful. And I didn't have that in here. And but I'm trying to keep it down. I'm trying to keep this as short as possible. I got about 3 more hours of content, but I'm not going to do all that, right? Because it is. But that's one of them. Thank you for mentioning that. Air filters are so dangerous for your health. Air fresheners. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Air filters are wonderful for your health. Get an air filter. I'm so sorry. Edit that. Start over. You want an air filter, change your air filters and get an air purifier in your house. Air fresheners, no. The reason why you need an air purifier is because if you had air fresheners, you would want to get rid of those from your house. That little pocket of that gel-looking stuff that smells nice, that is not nice. It is closely linked with neurotoxicity, which is toxicity to the brain, endocrine disruption. It's not worth it. The smell is not worth it. They do have essential oil-based air fresheners now where you can get essential oils on those little... You would not do them. Sorry, Caitlin is overriding me on that. She does not want to do those. So what would you recommend?
Pure essential oils. If you can buy it for $5, you don't want to plug it in.
That's a wonderful phrase. If you can buy it for $5, you don't want to use it. If you can't print, and Dr. Love, we have a guest speaker tonight for a few minutes who's going to join me in just a second, and she's going to tell you something like, if you can't read the ingredients on the label, then you shouldn't use that either. Same thing. If it's $5 for your body or for cleaning, okay, so good call. Thank you. So don't use those.
Diffusers that you can put.
Yeah.
If you can buy it at Hobby Lobby, you don't want to diffuse it because you're not doing yourself any favors. Those aren't therapeutic grade. I can go into it in the back so I don't waste your time.
That's okay. Well, certainly never wasted time, but she will in the back definitely take the time to go into cheaper essential oils, which are food grade means that you shouldn't ingest them. I mean, food grade is when you can ingest them, they won't harm you. But not food grade, which if you can't ingest it, you wouldn't want to be breathing it all day because it's going into your lungs, which is one of your entry points, right? One of your exit points. So we certainly can get rid of the Glade, etc. You know what I would say? If our home or our area needs an air freshener, we really should figure out why it needs an air freshener. Like, what's going on? Does the carpet need to be changed? Is there mold growing? Something in the ceiling? Do I need to what's going on that's creating a... If you have cat. One less cat. It's true. Oh, that's wonderful, Caitlin. Indoor plants are great to help filter and clean the air as well. That's so true. And they just feel homey and happy when you go into a room with a plant. Side note.
I had a doctor tell me that if you spray vinegar in the air or peroxide, that helps a lot.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that. But I don't see why it wouldn't because vinegar and peroxide are natural products from the earth. So I don't see why it wouldn't. Well, vinegar and peroxide, spraying it in the air can neutralize some odors.
Half and half or what?
Half and half, I don't know. Half and half? We've never done it, but maybe one or the other. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think it'll hurt anything. Side note, all of our team doctors here, they cram and share that one little room right there, and it's like an arboretum. They have so many plants in there. They always get plants. And I walked into it one day, I'm like, these are like half men in here. What's going on with all these plants? And all the men have plants. All the men here have plants at their desk. Isn't that nice? And at the house. I don't even have a plant. Because they die. I try, but they die. My plants die. So I got an air purifier. But I like Yes, ma'am. Question. Sorry.
And so what if somebody leaves a lovely fragrance in the bathroom?
Yeah, so Okay. Go ahead. So, Caitlin has a great.
Peppermint oil can be put in the toilet to help with constipation as well as smell.
What? How do you put it in the toilet? What do you mean? Like in the water?
Like potpourri?
So like poopery?
Yeah.
Like,
Drop peppermint oil in your toilet.
you mean in the back of the toilet?
And in the bowl.
Before you go.
So you have to do it before you go? Yeah. Okay, so you guys know that thing called poopery where you're supposed to spray it before you go, but like, what if you can't get to it in time? That's always like, I'm like, where's the poopery? I'm like, what do I pick, the poopery or my pants? Like, what do I do? You know what I mean? It's the truth. It's the truth. The same thing, like, but so maybe if you just left this like on the back of the toilet and you're like in there, and you could even leave it open, maybe a little loose, and you're like, nah. That's it.
You also can make like room sprays with essential oils that you can leave in the
That's
bathroom
true.
and spray when you're done.
Very true.
It's not toxic to everybody who's going to come back in.
That's right. Yeah, that's a great option. And I've heard that good old-fashioned trick too of lighting a match. I think that actually works. I don't know if it's like the best safety thing, but I think it works. Yes, did you have a question or a comment? Or did I miss it? What? It worked. The match works. You know, so when you're out or in a bind, right? Good, better, best. If we're in a good, better, best, we got to do something. We just start. Get the poopery out and the Glade out and get, the matches in. Okay, everyone get your phones out. I want you to take a QR code shot of that. If you know how to take a QR code or if your phone does that. So if you have not heard of this website, this is called the Environmental Working Group. Environmental Working Group. And then just save it. You don't have to look at the website necessarily right now, but just save it in there. Environmental Working Group is your #1 online resource for what's healthy, what's not, what's toxic, what's safe, for all types of products. Like, not food, but products. #1 website, skincare, cleaning products. It's very in-depth, lots of research behind it. This is a wonderful, wonderful website that has many resources. Just want you all to have it. Much of what I'm talking about tonight comes from their website. Did you guys get it? Yes. Thank you. You guys get it? Get it? 5 more seconds. 4. 4. 3. If you remind me, I'll put it back up at the end. If it didn't quite work with your phone, I'll leave it up at the end. If it didn't work out, okay? Okay, very good. All right, so we're going to make I'm going to show you how to do, well, that was supposed to be water, because I was going to make it.
Water in the one that.
Oh, in this one. Okay, so this is your household cleaner. I was going to do a demo. Did anybody else have a birthday this week? Huh? December. Who? What about an anniversary? Wedding anniversary? Hey, wedding. Well, okay, we'll give it to Dr. Love, wedding anniversary. How many years, dear? 4 years. Okay. Wonderful DIY cleaning. This is what I use at my house. So Thieves is a part of the Young Living essential oil line. There's much research on Thieves. Thieves is an essential oil. The research has shown that it even can kill MRSA and staph. That's how so strong and good the Thieves is. So you don't, when you're going to clean your house, this is a refill, like an ultra concentrated refill. They have smaller, bigger versions, and you literally get this is a 32-ounce bottle, so it's like 2 capfuls to this whole bottle of water. And this is the cleaning. This lasts months. This is cleaning the counter, disinfects. It cleans anything you would clean in the house. You can literally just use this one bottle if you would want to. And then this one just has water in it. Okay, so now how much, Caitlin, because this is not a 16-ounce, this might be an 8-ounce, right?
Might be a 12-ounce.
Might be 12 ounce, so maybe we want like half a cap.
Honestly,
We'll just put a little bit. Yeah, we'll
do what
just,
you want to do.
okay, we'll just put a little bit there.
Sometimes I don't measure. I just like
She doesn't measure. Just measure.
And that's water and.
Just water and the concentrate.
I don't always measure. I'm Italian. I don't measure when I cook all the time, so why measure that? I'll just fix it. That was it. So you just put it in water. Don't shake it. Invert it. Invert it. And happy anniversary, my dears. Keith, I'm giving it to you. Because you. Just kidding. See how easy, though?
Turn the box around so they can spell the word every.
Thieves, like you're stealing something.
What?
Do we want to hear the story? Yeah, I want to hear the story.
Okay, so back when there was the bubonic plague and you
Oh,
had
yes.
those people that came through and they were pillaging the dead and the dying, they had those cones over their faces and it kept them from getting sick. The botanicals they had in the cones are the botanicals that are in our Thieves Blend. Gary Young, the founder of Young Living, created Thieves Blend. He added an extra line of defense with rosemary. That's not true. Eucalyptus in there. That wasn't originally in their cones. And to this day, it's one of the most incredible selling products, like one of our top selling products.
Yeah, it's the one I use more than anything else. I have for years.
And
Yeah,
they have a line of a number of products that have thieves, like
yeah, toothpaste and different things. Yeah, Mary can speak to that too. Maybe if you want to help her afterwards, if many people want to talk to her, Mary could be your assistant in there as well. Okay, very good. So, okay. So that's a great, we've gone through some options of how to decrease what's coming into your bucket. Now let's switch gears just for a few minutes and talk about how to get rid of what's in our bucket already. And then if we have time, we'll finish up with a few other ways to decrease extra things coming into the bucket. Okay, first of all, the most basic cleanse that you can do to start cleaning up the bucket is a cleanse with a green juice or a bone broth. Okay, so we have recipes of this at the front desk. I didn't put them all in your packet right there tonight, but at any point, my patients who are coming into the office, you can ask for a recipe of this. I probably have given it to you at every other talk for various reason. A juice cleanse is where you make a green juice with a specific recipe and you only drink that for 3 days to 7 days. No food, just water and green juice. Completely cleanses and relaxes the liver and the kidneys in particular and the digestive tract. Talk about decreasing inflammation ASAP, that will happen in 3 days. I've had many people who had rheumatoid arthritis, colitis, Crohn's, 3 days, 4 days of this, like the pain's gone. That's how fast the inflammation will go down when you're doing either of these cleanses, particularly the green juice cleanse. Now this takes some mental preparation. If you've never done a cleanse without food, you might want to start with the bone broth first. So if you're used to cleansing and doing only liquid, then go ahead and try the 3-day green juice cleanse with the recipe they can get you at the front. A bone broth cleanse is where you make a soup out of grass-fed beef bones or chicken bones, and you put several other ingredients of vegetables, etc. in it, and you cook it for 24 hours. And that is so healing, it's so anti-inflammatory, it heals the lining of the gut, and you do that for 3 days, for up to 7 to 10 days in some severe cases. I don't know if you've ever heard of Jordan Rubin before. Jordan Rubin is a very well-known natural health practitioner. I am very pleased to say that Jordan Rubin is officially partnering with Max Living. And so that is exciting. Jordan Rubin is helping. You've seen this was a side note, but you've seen some of our products change the label, and the label says Pure Path now. And those are going to happen one at a time. And those are the ones that Jordan Rubin is helping to customize and make that much through regenerative farming and different techniques and things. So that's super exciting and a huge blessing. He was one of the first people, actually the first person in my own personal life when I was watching him when he wrote the book, The Maker's Diet. Anyone ever remember that book? 2005, this book came out called The Maker's Diet. And he wrote a book about basically God's plan for eating, and healed himself from Crohn's disease when he was he's tall. I mean, he's like almost 6 feet tall, and he was down to 110 pounds. And so he ended up, the medical model was killing him basically. And so he went to the Bible, started researching, reading, and created a bone broth from reading the Bible, and healed his Crohn's and reversed his Crohn's diagnosis from doing that. So he has a whole book about that. It's called Restoring Your Digestive Health. But the Maker's Diet is really what changed and brought that out. And I share that with you this because that's literally the first thing that changed my own life. I was a conventional just like anybody else, and then I started to see that and read that. And I'm like, well, it's based on the Bible. I mean, I can't argue this. So I have to pay attention. And so, but anyway, so that was 20 years ago. Now here we are full circle. Look at how God brings that all together. And he's here partnering with us, helping to refine and customize our supplements and nutraceuticals. So, but anyways, back to the OG, the bone broth cleanse, right? Let's get it done once or twice a year. Just spring clean your body, whatever you want to do it. Just get a 3-day bone broth or juice cleanse. Sweat more. These are just natural ways. Before I get to the products that you will take to detox, you can't take that without sweating. You got to sweat. So you just got to get the toxins come out when you sweat. So ideally, I'd like you to sweat from exercise number 1 first. Is that right? So if you are, that we do have an exercise program called Max T3. It's a high intensity, short duration exercise program that Max Living teaches. We have classes with that every Tuesday night with a personal trainer who comes here in that room and take us through a 20-minute exercise. That's welcome to everybody. We had about 10 people last week come to that. That was super cool. But that's Tuesday night at 6:30. Someone? 6:30? No, yeah, we have Max T3ers here. They come to the Max T3. So if you like community and you're not in a gym or something, we can come over to the Max T3 and engage with that. Okay? It's free. Yes. Okay, so those are your basic things you need to be doing anyways as a human. Then we're going to add in it because most of the time we haven't made perfect choices our whole human life, have we? Right. Our buckets are full. They're either full or they're filling up. And it probably just exercising or only doing a bone broth cleanse isn't going to empty our bucket enough. So we're going to need to do something else that's going to start our body, just kind of kickstart it going in the right direction. The first 2 things that are going to use to do that. The detox system, and then a product called cell repair. Now I'm going to differentiate these for you. The detox system is a 2-part cellular cleanse. There's 2 bottles in there. The first bottle, called Cell Detox, here, this has ingredients in it to do 2 things. One is to draw the toxins out of the cell. And it does that by helping to cleanse that clogged up membrane. Remember we talked about that membrane getting black, like your air filter? It helps to clean out the membrane and allows the toxins, draws them out of the cell. Toxins that have been stuck in there because they couldn't get out. It also helps your body to produce something called glutathione. Who's heard of that before? Great, more people than I thought. That's awesome. If we haven't though, the number 1 antioxidant in your human body that God designed you with is called glutathione. Number 1 ingredient. This is it finds toxins in your body. I don't know if we won't get too sciencey, but toxins become really toxic when they're called free radicals. Yeah. So like there are these toxic little tiny cells floating around freely, just wreaking havoc. They're not controlled. They're not bound to anything that's tempering them. So they're wreaking havoc. So glutathione in your own body naturally finds these little free guys wreaking havoc, these free radicals. It finds them and it kills them, gets rid of them. Now your body is naturally supposed to produce the glutathione to find them and kill them. But because of our toxic bucket, our glutathione levels in most of us are too low. And they're unable to help us to detox properly or fast enough to keep up with what's going in the bucket. So what you have to do is to take things that your body needs that are they're called precursors. Can you bear with me a little science just for a second? Can you just stick with just a little bit more? Precursor means something that's needed in order for glutathione to be produced. Okay? Because your body doesn't do great if you just take glutathione. It's not like vitamin D and you can just take vitamin D and your vitamin D goes up. Your body doesn't really work like that. You have to take things that are required for your body to produce the glutathione. That's going to make your glutathione naturally go up in a wonderful way, allow you to find the free radicals and kill them. So in the cell detox and in the cell repair, which is a different one I'll tell you in just a second, as many of the precursors as we can fit into a pill are in the pill that help your body produce its own glutathione. So in the detox system, this system is meant to take only once every 3 to 6 months. This is not a monthly recurring thing like your daily essentials. Twice a year is sufficient, not more than 4 times a year. It's a bit stronger. You're not going to be in the toilet or anything, but it's stronger of what's happening in the cell. So it's not meant for daily use. But if you've never done it before, we should start our detox journey after this with a month. This is a 30-day program. So you do the cell detox, cleans up the cell wall, helps produce glutathione, and gets the toxins out of the cell. Now, when your toxins are out of your cell, where are they going to go? Well, they're going to be floating around in your blood, in your system. So you have to get them now out of your system. If you don't, they're going to go back into the cell. So the second part is called body detox. This is a charcoal-based part. Charcoal is what if you went to the emergency room, I was an ICU nurse in my first career before I became a chiropractor. So all the time I see if you go there and you ingest something you're not supposed to, you overdose on drugs, etc., they pump you with charcoal. That's why they try to pump your stomach, because charcoal binds to whatever you took that was poisoning you, binds to poisons, binds to everything, actually, and takes it out. So if you take the charcoal, now it's going to bind up those free toxins that the cell detox eliminated. And it binds them and it takes them out through your poop. So the body detox is taken at night. It does its thing while you're sleeping. In the morning when you poop, the poop, it might look a little darker because it's a charcoal-based product. It very well may. But the poop is filled with more toxins than it would have been had you not done that. Then in the morning, right when you up, you take the cell detox again. And then at night, you take the body. And then the morning, you take the cell. And you do that for 30 days until you've done the whole thing. So this is the once or twice a year. If we haven't done it this year yet, this is a great time. Just go ahead and get it done. There's an insert in here that gives you some special directions that you please need to read. Please read it. This is very important. And I'm going to highlight it because someone's not going to read it. So I'm going to highlight it again right now. Right now, the very important thing that it says. This is such a powerful detox and binding system that if you take it within an hour of your medications or your supplements, it will bind to them and take them out, and they won't work. So you have to take this 1 hour away from anything else. So like as soon as you get up in the morning, don't take any other, you can eat, but you don't take any other supplement. And then the nighttime one, as soon as you go to bed, an hour away from your medications or your supplements, because it will bind to them and it's like you never took them. And that's a waste of money and or dangerous for you. Okay, but if you take it away from that, you're totally fine, and it's going to help to detox your cell. Read the insert to remind you of that. Yes, ma'am?
Would you be taking, before we were talking about the juice cleanse and the bone,
Uh-huh.
would you do that and then?
Yeah, no, together.
Together.
I would do it together. That's just fine. Either one. Yep, either one is fine. Okay, so this is for 1 to 3 times, 4 times maybe per year. What about for daily, though? What am I going to do every day? Because I'm exposed to toxins every day, and I want to keep decreasing my bucket, and that's going to be the cell repair. This is for my patients who are on the daily essential vitamin packs, which are just the regular vitamins that you're missing from our poor food supply and nutrient poor food. In addition to that, we're lobbying for this to be put in the packet, because that's how important it is to help your body protect its detoxification pathways, is to use the cell repair every day. The cell repair has, as I said, as many products as we could possibly fit inside of there that are going to create glutathione. As many that can fit in there. There's 8 different products that are in the little pill that can fit into it. And you take it 3 times a day, cell repair, ideally at least twice. And then that's on the back of the bottle. This also contains, I don't know if you guys have studied mushrooms, antioxidant mushrooms before, so I won't do a mushroom lecture right now, but they're very important to the immune system, inflammation, and your detoxification pathways. The most powerful mushroom, called the chaga mushroom, is an organic mushroom. It helps produce glutathione more than any other mushroom on the earth, and that's the one that we're able to get into this. This is a fairly new product I haven't talked about at a workshop before if you haven't heard it. So this is just for daily use, though. It's safe for continual just to help to decrease, especially if you know you're like in a work environment where there's chemicals and toxins and you don't have any control over what they're cleaning with, what you're inhaling, what you're doing. You don't have control over those things. Like you're not, here working in this office where we're all toxin free. Just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. We are toxin free, but then you got to do something. Like you got to do something for yourself to be able to protect it. This is a very efficient, cost-effective, a great way to be able to do that as something that can just be protecting you on a regular basis. If you're going to fly, planes are filled with radiation and toxins, etc. When you're breathing the air, great thing to take before you do that. Yes, ma'am.
On the page, there's a handout, it says dietary restrictions. Does that mean I'm supposed to be restricting myself to the dairy-free, gluten-free? Or that just means that that's what the cell repair does?
What do you mean?
On here, it says dietary restrictions, and underneath it, it says,
Oh,
yeah, gluten-free and dairy-free. And does that mean when I'm taking it, I should be dairy-free?
No.
It's identifying what
no. It's in part letting you know that this has no gluten and no dairy in it to make it.
Okay.
Yep, but no. I mean, I always promote gluten-free and regulating dairy, but but no, it doesn't mean that. It means it's an organically made product that doesn't have those ingredients in it. So this is, yes.
You might have probably were just about to answer, but
That's
I was
okay.
gonna ask, do you take the box first, and then after that month is
Yes,
over?
that's a great question. Yes, this is called our basic detox bundle, basic detox package, just like basic. We're gonna start this. And yes, you would take this for the 1 month and then take this after that. But you want to start on it right away, like right when you stop this, keep the process going. Don't take a break, fill up your bucket back on and then restart it later, right? Go ahead. One of you in here has this at home and hasn't done it yet. Is it y'all? Yeah, you got to do that. She bought this a while ago. She keeps telling me you haven't done it yet. You're starting this tomorrow, Maria. Okay. And then you do this right after it. Okay? So that's the basic detox package. Now you have a price sheet in your packet of the sale cost. I know half of you came just because you can restock your supplements on sale tonight. I already know that. That's all right because you get to learn something anyways in between. But everything in all of your supplements, if you need to reload up, is 10% off, and then the bundles are at 20% off when you're taking this. Yes, ma'am.
You take the cell repair if somebody's on medication.
Yes, you can. Yes, and you don't have. Thank you for asking that, Karen. You don't have to take your cell repair away from the medication. It's a different type of product. It's helping your body build its own detoxification system. It's not removing anything, like it doesn't bind to anything like a charcoal does. Okay. Yes.
And you can take that anytime?
Yes, ma'am. Anytime throughout the day, with or without food. Doesn't matter. So that's your basic detox package. Now I made you something. It's called the Ultimate Detox Package. Brand new, never done it before. Ultimate Detox Package. If you're like, this is it, this is my time, I'm here, I'm doing something different, I'm going all out. I've been doing my other 4 essentials. Detox is the only one I really haven't focused on lately, and that's most of the time. So, you've heard of infrared sauna? Who's done it? You like it? It's nice. Infrared sauna is a dry heat sauna, but you sit in there, but the heat waves are produced by far infrared heat wave energy. This is a totally different type of produced than just being hot because the heater's on, or you're outside in the sun, or you're in a hot car. This type of heat energy is what heats up the sauna. It penetrates very deep into your body, deeper than heat penetrates just from regular heat or from a regular dry sauna. And by doing that, it draws toxins out in your sweat. So when you sweat as a result of the infrared sauna heat, you have 30% more toxins out in your sweat than you would just by sweating because you're hot or you're working out. So it's very good for detoxing when you're in the infrared sauna. It takes 20 to 30 minutes to get that benefit where you're extracting about 30% more toxins. You sit in the sauna between 120 and 145 degrees. And here are some of the other benefits, which if you're a patient, you got a white folder when you started care in the office. A white folder. If you haven't opened that white folder lately, have this be the weekend. Open that up. You have resources in there you did not even realize you had. You have all your nutrition resources and detox. You have many resources in there you probably didn't even know you had. So open it up and you're going to see this card in there. And also around the corner down the hallway over there, next to the infrared sauna room, you'll have and they're at the front desk. Thank you, Jasmine. So this is a card that helps top 5 benefits of infrared sauna. It helps to reverse and slow down the aging process, helps to detoxify, which what we're talking about now, is a great stress reliever. Just because of the heat, your body, the muscles relax instantly in a way they would never with any other sauna. Can help with weight loss. You can burn as much as 600 calories in one session of the sauna, and you're just sitting there. That's a great benefit. And then pain relief is an awesome benefit that people experience when you're in the sauna. It's so anti-inflammatory, and it decreases the pain receptors. So some people have your own sauna at your house. I know some of you have that, and that's something to strive for sure, because when you do it multiple times a week, you get the most benefit. If you don't yet, and you just want to get started with it, you can use ours. We have a 2-person infrared sauna. You can go in there as a couple or one person and spread out, and we do those for 30-minute sessions in there. Now, with your ultimate detox package that we made, you have a 3-session infrared sauna. So 3 30-minute sessions of infrared sauna with your ultimate detox package. Okay? Then we have a brand new thing on your way out today, or when you come for your next adjustment. When you're over here on this side of the office, I bet y'all didn't even notice there was like a little office on the front by the door. There's a door. There's an office over there, right? It's like, but we keep the door closed because you don't even know what's going on there all the time. Just kidding. But now there's a medical massage chair that looks like this there. Whoops. Now I can't do a lecture on the whole medical massage chair, but we attended a lengthy class and session and conference about the benefits. First of all, the benefits of massage, which you know that already, especially, but the medical massage chair is this one is closest to the human hands as I've ever experienced. And I'm a massage snob. Like, sometimes they fire me because I'm very needy, and I am, in the massage, I have a high expectation. The bar is very high. But, so thankfully I found one, and now he comes here on Monday nights, but he only has very few sessions. So ask at the front desk if you want to get in with him with human hands. But this is an amazing, you take 30 minutes in it, and they have made it with AI and aware that if you closed your eyes, you would really think that there were human hands on you in multiple different ways of it. It's kind of surreal. And you lay back in it in this cocoon, and you come, you're in this gravity-less, anti-gravity, whatever, and you're it's just kind of surreal. It's just, I don't know. It's a surreal experience. But there's settings on it for detox. And those settings are helping to encourage your lymphatics to drain. Your lymphatic system is the system in your body that's moving the toxins through, getting them out, moving them through. And so lymphatic massage is a very particular kind of massage, and the chair helps to replicate that. So in the ultimate detox package, we put a 30-minute session of the chair, the detox version on the chair. Now this also has different packages that we're going to roll out because it's brand new, etc. And we can do those. But if you're just doing the ultimate detox package, then we can add the sauna, 3 saunas, and a chair use. Okay, so all you do is you're going to get at the front desk, you're going to get your package, these 2 coupons, you're going to get them. And then since there's a lot of us tonight and we want to be efficient with checkouts and stuff, we're going to have you either text, call, email, or tell us at your next appointment, and we will get that on the schedule for you. But we might not do that tonight just so we can get everybody out and get you what you need tonight. So that's the ultimate detox package. I was excited about it, so I'm excited for the feedback on the chair and such with all of those. Isn't that cool? I'm gonna give the next. You guys with me? We okay? Okay. Let's take a deep breath in. Hold it for 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Lungs empty. Carbon dioxide oxygen exchange. Inhale again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get a little more oxygen coming to your brain because I have asked a very, very special friend of mine. Her name is Dr. Love Demps, and her husband here is Dr. Keith Demps. And I asked her just to take a few minutes and expound upon what you see on this slide here. So these, we even know who it is. We even know who's calling. So if you wanted to be 6, I want to see that there. So Dr. Love, if you could come up here. So Dr. Love is a health and wellness practitioner. She's had many, many years in the business. She does many things that are very, very special and advanced. I don't have her bio right here in front of me. But she's an amazing friend of mine. Her and her husband and her family, we've been taking care of all of them for, since we opened the office probably 8 years ago. And so she has the heart and the wisdom and the knowledge that we do. So I might give her a shirt and she can suit up. No, but I just wanted her just to speak for a few minutes because she in her previous careers would do these types of discussions for multiple people all the time, just as a career. And so she has some insight that we can get for some of the things that ladies, this might be a little more lady oriented. All right, but this is where we got to pay attention because these are things that we're doing like every day that are filling up our bucket little by little by little and in the name of beauty. And I am not exempt. I was almost about to think I shouldn't do this talk tonight because I was at the hairdresser on Friday getting all this bleach on my hair, getting all this. I'm being honest. I went to the highlighter. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not perfect either. You know, I'm just we're all on a journey. But that's it. So, you know what I started? My detox system today. I see her got to take care of that because that's my choice. Now, she's better than me in that because she doesn't do that to her hair. But anyways, I asked her to give some, just a broad spectrum here of insight into this part of us. So, Dr. Love, please take the floor for a moment.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me in the back? I will talk loud.
Oh.
If I'm not loud, just like raise your hand.
If it's okay, I'm going to give you this one for just a second, just for the recording.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So I'm Dr. Love, and as Dr. Becky just so graciously explained, I'm honored and privileged to have known her since she opened this particular location. We used to travel 50 miles one way to Dr. Crystal Caldwell's office to get services, and when she opened, it was a blessing because my parents had experienced a head-on collision in 2015, and my late father was double amputee above and below the knee, and my mother was a traumatic brain injury. And I'm saying this for a reason because these types of things that we take for granted, we may, grab this off the shelf and, run here and grab this for our daily self-care. Those little things, they add up. And when you have a loved one with special needs or they've had some sort of physical trauma, those little scents and things that we feel like, oh, this is going to be great, or I'm going to put this new product on my child's hair, and then all of a sudden you see their behavior changing and you wonder, why is my child acting so differently? It is 99.9% of the time linked to something your child has ingested through the water, through the food, or a surface product on their skin. Because what is our largest detox organ? Our skin. So when we talk about these beauty products that are designed to make us beautiful, some of them are killing us, slowly but surely. I will talk briefly about where to find these products because Dr. Becky has a lot of the links. It's an ongoing process in terms of new products that come on the market. That is why the Environmental Working Group, that EWG bar code that you guys scanned on your phone, is so important so that if you're shopping, you're pre-planning, you can get on that website and look it up. Because what I may say today is a great product. They may, like next quarter, decide to change an ingredient because it's more cost effective for them, but it's going to cost you on the back end in terms of your health. Yes. So as far as makeup, I don't wear makeup. My mother used to wear makeup. She used to be really big on eyeliner and mascara, those things that you have to physically, use witch hazel or some sort of cleanser. There is a website called safecosmetics.org. It's spelled just as it sounds, safecosmetics.org. And it lists a lot of great products that you can use that are safe. Anything that, as Dr. Becky mentioned, that has that methyl paraben, phthalate, any of those preservatives that allow the product to last is a stay away. The other thing you want to be mindful of is not so much the products that you're purchasing, it's how long you retain them in your cabinet. How many of us have lipstick and it's like been 6 months? You know, you're not supposed to hang on. I was trying not to exaggerate, but you're not supposed to be hanging on to your cosmetic products that long, especially if you know those products have been exposed to heat, any kind of extreme temperature, where it's going to change the chemical composition of that product. And so you never know when that product breaks down. If you notice a little harder to put on or it's more goopy, trash it. Okay? So it's not just what you're buying, it's also how long you're keeping it. Before you purchase it, make sure you see the expiration date. If you can't see the expiration date, keep the train moving. Okay? Now, for relaxers, how many of us have had a relaxer? Me too. So I can easily be a hypocrite. A couple years ago, I used to get my hair done by a celebrity stylist in West New York when my husband and I were in the ministry in the Bronx. And it was wonderful when it first started out, and I would order this to kind of combat it, right? Because I knew what I was doing. It was straightening my hair. I was looking all fine for my husband, but I knew it was chemically, toxic. And so guess what happened when I would start taking this? My roots would start changing because that is how powerful these chemicals are. So women, if you have any kind of relaxer, texturizer, highlight, bleach, you may have spent hundreds of dollars to get your hair professionally done, but I do have to warn you, this actually works. And it's worth its weight in gold, because not only is the skin your largest detox organ, but your scalp is part of your skin. Your hair is part of your health. Your nails as well. And I'll get to that. That'll be my last section. So when you think about this chemical being placed on your scalp and you sit under a dryer, what are you doing to your brain? Now, thank God we have a blood-brain barrier that protects our brain, but at the end of the day, you're still putting that in your child's hair or your own hair. So one of the, I'll just list off a couple of products you guys may be familiar with, like Shea Moisture, Carol's Daughter, Kinky Curly. These are some older, old school products that I grew up on when natural hair wasn't popular, and it was hard to find African American hair products that actually worked, right? Because nobody wants to spend $50 on a product, and even though it says it's natural, it doesn't work. My hairdresser has been doing my hair for over 30 years, and she had her own product line, and we tried a organic relaxer. She was trying to transition me from the traditional relaxer, the name brands, and guess what happened to my hair? The organic relaxer broke my hair. So I say all that to say, it's not just what you're using, you have to find out what works best for you, because just because it says it's organic or natural, which is just another misnomer for artificial, because legally they can call it natural, it doesn't mean that it's good for your pH level. So when you're buying these products, the first thing you want to do as a female is back up, check with your primary care provider, or if you have pH strips, you can buy them from most stores, health food stores. Find out what your pH level, because a lot of these products, what's happening is it's making your pH go more into the acidic range. And that's when you have that dry, itchy scalp, or you notice your skin is like, it's kind of dull. It's like, oh, I need to get a facial. No, think about, okay, what are you putting on your face? What has changed in the last couple of weeks or maybe a couple of days? Maybe you're using the same product, but on the product it'll say new and improved, right? And sometimes new and improved for them is not good for you. Okay? Now the last section, I have a personal testimony. You see my ugly toe? Okay. So, I'm like trying to take care of my toes and my feet, and took my mom, went and got a pedicure, and this was a recommended salon next door to a place where I do my cryo with my husband. And lo and behold, all of a sudden, something's growing on my toe. I'm like, what's going on? I always, I go to the same place. I'm very careful. I get an organic pedicure, every time I go. I get the chemical-free, blah, blah, blah. Well, went to my podiatrist. I had some fungus on my toe. So when it comes to nail products like Zoya, ginseng, Kot, these are great, but be very careful about where you go and how often you go. Why? Because unless you're walking into a med spa or an organic nail bar where you can see they have a professional grade cleaning system for their tools that they use to clean your nails, guess what's going to happen? Whatever the person behind you had is going to potentially transfer to your nail. So what do I suggest you do? You walk in the door with your own polish, because it's really the polish that is transferring some of that fungus from one foot or one nail to the other. So any questions?
What about eyelash glue?
So eyelash glue, okay, here's the other thing. A lot of us, we grew up wearing wigs, right? And they were the kind where you had to glue them on instead of, now they have sew-ins and all kind of things. So glue is probably the worst thing you can do to your hair. Number one, because it takes out your hairline. And a lot of celebrities over the years, they've had to do like hair transplants because it's literally receding their hairline. So you want to try to stay away from that. And also with the hair products. So, a lot of countries, women sell their hair. And so you've got that natural horse hair, and you have to be very careful when you go into these beauty shops and buy natural or synthetic hair. Why? Number one, you don't know how long it's been sitting there. And number two, you don't know whose head it was on. You don't know if that person was sick. And so I've unfortunately, I'm like Dr. Becky, I used to be in acute care in pediatrics here in Dallas and Fort Worth hospitals. And there were times where children had scalp infections. One child had a nest in her scalp. When the child was brought in, it was just like a really red spot, and they thought it might have been a non-accidental trauma. Like, what did the parent do to the child? Well, it turned out the child's hair had been braided, and because of the hair that was used, a spider had set up shop in that child's hair and was living in the child's head. And so that's what caused that infection, and it wasn't a good situation. So don't just think about the chemicals. Think about what kind of products you're adding to your hair, your skin, as well as what the shelf life is on them. And if they have an expiration date, always be mindful of, okay, how long have I had this? Even if you have to take a marker, like a Sharpie, and mark it on there to remind yourself, okay, in 3 months, I need to discard this and pick something else. Question?
The eyelash glue, I know some of the young teenagers are using hair glue on their eyelashes, but the eyelash glue itself, if you're using the strips and not having the people put the permanent lashes that hold all the germs in your eyes, is that the one with formaldehyde, or which one of the glues has the formaldehyde in it?
So I'm not sure because I don't wear makeup. I just do know that here's the best way to think about it. Whether you're getting your eyelashes, eyebrows tattooed on or glued on, if someone has to put on gloves to perform whatever you're having done to your body, that's a clue that you've got some sort of toxin that's carcinogenic, meaning it can cause cancer. It can potentially burn the skin of that person that's applying it to your body, and you probably just don't want to do that. I mean, I want to be beautiful for my husband, but it's not worth my health if I know that it's going to affect me in the long term. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yes. You mentioned the relaxer, and you also mentioned the detox system. Were you saying to do the relaxer and like after the relaxer has been set in for a while, do the detox, or were you saying to not do the relaxer at all?
Well, I'm saying best practice is try not to do the relaxer. But if you're like Dr. Becky said, you're going to pick one or two things that you want to change. And let's say you already have some sort of chemical on your hair, whether it's a wash, a texturizer, or a relaxer, just be aware that once you start taking this product here, it's going to pull out everything. In your hair, not only will the color or the perm come off, it's going to change the texture of your hair. It's going to be better though. You're going to think it's bad because it's not going to be uneven. Like I just worked out and I can't stand this because it's like a different texture, but that's my natural hair. I'm fully natural, but when I get it flat ironed, you do understand when you get your hair heat activated, whether it's with a dryer or a flat iron, heat is a chemical. So if you're layering that with a relaxer, then over time your hair is going to be damaged if you don't do some things to counteract it. So does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I actually have one more. You named some relaxers. Were you saying that those were good ones to use or bad ones to use? I think you said kinky something.
Oh, those are hair products.
Okay.
They're just hair products to help keep your hair moisturized. So I used to use Sham Moisture, Kinky Curly Curls Daughter. Those were the product lines that used to be like the only go-tos. But if you get on the safecosmetics.org and the Environmental Working Group, between those two websites, you can pretty much find what you need. Okay? All right, thank you.
That was awesome. This is another Environmental Working Group QR code that goes to the EWG, but it's specific to the skin care aspects. Oh, Dr. Love, can I have the mic back?
Oh, absolutely.
So if you want to do another one with that goes right, it's called Skin Deep. It goes right to the skin part of the Environmental Working Group. You can get there without the QR code, but this just takes you right there. If you want to, you can put your own products in or search for the ones that are the safest in all different areas right there. It's very, very user-friendly. All right, now we are going to have a 21-day challenge. So 2 last things before we leave tonight. One is going to be our 21-day challenge with a raffle at the end. And number 2 is I see several faces of people I haven't met yet before, and that's awesome. And welcome to our Momentum Family Chiropractic Max Living family. We have about 300 plus offices across the country, and all of them did this workshop over the past 2 weeks. So you basically have about 10,000 plus people all learning and being equipped of how to combat chemicals in your own life altogether, not just here in Cedar Hill. And that is an amazing, giant, big, awesome mission that we're all on together to try to help people change the way they view and manage their health. So if you came with somebody or somebody invited you and you live here, like around this area, then you have not a free pass, but you have a discounted pass. So we'll get an initial exam and consultation with the doctor, x-rays of your spine. I'll talk about that in a moment, at a discounted price of $50 of a friends and family referral. And here's why that's important. And my patients here coming will let you know that for sure why. Because you can do the 21-day challenge I'm about to tell you. You can do the cleanses. You can do the ultimate detox package. And I encourage you to do those things. Obviously, that's what tonight's about. But you can do all of those things perfectly. But if the master control system of your body is not healthy or has never been addressed, you're not going to heal. And you're going to hit a brick wall with your health. So patients, somebody shout out, what is the master control system of your body? Your nervous system. Your nervous system. That's your brain and your nerves, your spinal cord. Your brain is running the show. You're not going to detox anything without the brain telling your body what to do. You're not going to be able to function. You can't absorb the good, healthy, organic, non-GMO food unless your brain is sending a proper signal. Well, I can't see that poster, but your brain is sending a proper signal down your spinal cord to communicate a nerve signal over to your stomach to tell it, well, what do I do with this healthy food? How do I absorb it? How do I excrete it? What do I need to do with it? And you aren't built Wi-Fi. You don't have a Bluetooth signal in your body. That's for the mic or for your phone. Your body is a wired being. And what's your wiring system? Your nervous system. Your brain communicates, everything starts in your brain, then your brain sends a signal down your spinal cord, which happens to be inside of your spine. And then the spinal cord sends it out the nerves, and the nerves go to every organ in your body and down your arms and legs. And your brain that's how it communicates with your body to know what to do, how to heal, how to function, how to digest your food, how your heart beat, how you breathe, how you detox. All of it's run and controlled by your brain. So if your brain is not able to send the nerve signals clearly down your spinal cord, what the heck is going to happen if that's the nerve going to your heart? Is your heart going to be healthy, or is it going to build disease if it can't hear from your brain? It's going to build disease. Your heart doesn't have its own brain. It uses this brain, and it sends a signal to it. If the signal is broken or breached because you have a neck problem, meaning like your spinal bones of your neck are in the wrong alignment, or they have arthritis, or they have a disc degeneration, or you've had a trauma, a car accident, you sit at a desk all day like this, and if you looked in the mirror, your head would be going out in front of your body like this, or your shoulders are up like this, your hips up here. These are all different aspects of your posture that you can usually see yourself if you look at yourself and analyze it properly. Now, we'll do a proper, thorough initial posture analysis with a digital scan, a digital nerve scan, et cetera, to evaluate this. But this system in the body has got to be addressed and treated, or you're going to hit a brick wall with your health every time. It doesn't matter how clear and perfect you are on the other essentials. Does that make sense? Just kind of visualizing it. This can be things like when you're struggling with even something as simple as like neck pain or back pain, sciatica, headaches, shoulder pain. These are simple things that are very clear warning signs that there's a problem in the nervous system, and it needs to be checked and it needs to be treated. It needs to be checked with a posture analysis, with neuromuscular exams. It needs to be checked with x-rays so that we're not guessing and just guessing because my back hurts here that, oh, the problem is right there. Well, you don't know that. The problem can be in multiple places. And so we don't guess, we test we practice advanced corrective care chiropractic, and we test. We don't guess just where something hurts. This is not a pain management clinic. You can go to lots of places around if you just want a quick crack them up in style, and so, oh God, it feels better, come back next year when you're feeling bad again. We don't do that here. This takes a detailed, thorough analysis of the entire nervous system through 4 different exam styles. Those are analyzed, that happens on the first appointment. Then we look and see, is anything wrong? Is anything wrong there that we find that's causing the problems that you're having with your health? Or you don't have any problems with your health and you just want to make sure that it doesn't cause in the future. That's called prevention. Wouldn't you vote that's the best way to take care of your health? Yes, prevention is the best way to take care of your health. But sometimes we can't just start with prevention. We have to actually start with treating something and then get to the point where we can continue to prevent it. And I don't know which camp you're in, but that's the intention of the first appointment is we can see that. So we'll reserve one of our doctors for you. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour to get that analysis complete, and you figure out where does the nervous system fit into my picture of my health. And I'll let you know it's the number one most important aspect of your health. So we will do that on a first visit, then you would come back on another day, maybe the next day or 2 days later. We'll talk about what we found, but most importantly on the next visit is if we do find there's problems, misalignments, then we'll get you adjusted. You get your first chiropractic adjustment. We'll see how you respond to the type of care that we do there, and then we'll do a couple of other tests on that same day as well. Then on a different visit, we will come back for a longer explanation of how to read all of your x-rays. So we'll go through all the results with you. I prefer that our doctors show you your x-rays one by one. We don't just give you a list of here's the treatment plan, here's what you need to do, like you're going to the medical doctor to get your prescriptions. Their education is key. If you have to know what's happening with your own body so you can make choices and make a difference, that's what it's not a negotiable. So I take time to go through and teach you how to read your x-rays, and you feel very equipped and empowered to know, here's what's going on with my health. This is the biggest, clearest picture I can ever get, clearer than you would go to a medical doctor. And then I can know, hey, what do I need to do now to start getting my health back and start taking care of each one of those 5 essential systems. So if you haven't ever done that here before, you probably got a red folder that is specifically for guests who are not patients. You have some extra goodies in there that everyone else didn't get. And one of the things in that folder, you can open it up and there's a half sheet that's a card. And that card is like a way that you would schedule an appointment for yourself. So you just write your name on the card, And then on the right side, there's appointment times. And those appointment times we have set aside over the next week for anyone who comes to the workshop tonight to be able to circle the time that works best for you. And our doctors who are in the back, Dr. Carlos, Dr. Theo, and potentially Dr. Joel, but at least both of those, they will be able, just go, are you going to stand there? Is that where we're going to go? You tell me where you're going to go. To the vibration room. To the room that says good vibes on top. Good vibes. That's whole body vibration therapy and body weight training work in there. So we'll see if you qualify for that. So they're going to be in there when we're done. Just if you're a guest, just step back there with your red folder. They'll show you the cards, circle the time that works best for you, and then we'll set up and reserve that time for you to meet with one of our doctors. For my patients, the 21-day challenge. Guests can do the 21-day challenge too if you want to. 21-day challenge. It's simple. And you know what you're going to win? You're going to get entered into a raffle. You're going to get entered into a raffle. We're going to raffle off 2 infrared sauna sessions and 2 massage chairs sessions in 21 days. Here's how you get in the raffle. You got a lot of information tonight, didn't you? There's way more, trust me. But you got a lot. And the last thing you want to do is go home tonight and be like, that was a really great talk, and wow, that was good. And do nothing. Don't change anything. What did we say at the beginning when we started? You're going to pick what? 1, 2, or 3 things that you're going to do and change. When you've picked those 1, 2, or 3 things, or however many you want, you're either going to do 2 things. 1, you can bring, let's say you're going to change your deodorant. You're going to bring your old deodorant and your new deodorant into the office. Or you're going to take a picture of your old product and your new product and text it. But you have to be in your house. You can't go to the store and take the picture of the product and send it in. You actually have to get it because you're going to use it in your life. So you take it home and you take a picture of your smiley face with your 2 products because you upgraded and you changed something. And however many pictures or items you bring in, that's how many raffle tickets you're going to get. Okay. If you do 3 things, you get 3 tickets. If you do 6 things, you get 6 tickets. 1 thing, 1 ticket. And you got 21 days because it takes 21 days to make a new habit. Yeah. So you got 21 days to be able to do it. What is that the date in 21 days? Someone tell me. I don't even know the date of that. 21 days? Anyone? 15th or 17th. All right, we'll text you. So in 21 days, you're gonna bring and send it. When you come in, then we'll give you a raffle ticket to your next visit. We'll keep 1/2, you keep 1/2. Then we're gonna do a drawing on that 22nd day. And we'll contact you if you win. We're gonna get 4 prizes. You're gonna win either 2 massage chairs and 2 saunas. Cool? Can we do it? Awesome. You guys are amazing. I hope you got some great content that you can actually use tonight and change your life and your health. I'm going to just pray us out if that's okay, because I forgot to pray at the beginning. So, Father, thank you for an amazing night tonight. Thank you for amazing information and truths and content and valuable knowledge that you've given us tonight. Thank you that you would help solidify it in our minds, that you would help give us the resources to make these changes and the willpower and the support to make these changes slowly but surely. And God, I just pray for your abundant blessings and health on all of our patients here tonight, God, that you're supernaturally healing their bodies with every next choice that they make for their health. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Good evening. Love you guys.
And this color, your hair looks so gorgeous.
Thank you.
Very nice.
You did an amazing job.
Turn this off.
I have a question. I have a family that